So hello, I'm Manan Garg and our team's presentation is based on the analysis of the drilling process carried out on the fiber reinforced plastics. So what are fiber reinforced plastics? These are composite materials made up of two components, a polymer matrix and the reinforced fibers. Polymer matrix are lightweight and chemical resistant but are quite weak. On the other hand, fiber materials are stiff and have high strength. The goal or the motivation behind making FRPs is to retain the strength of fibers while lowering the overall density. Fibers that are generally used are glass, carbon, and aramid, which stands for aromatic imide. Polymers used are thermosetting polymers like epoxy, vinyl, and polyester. Most composites have strong, stiff fibers in a matrix which is weaker and less stiff. The objective is usually to make a component which is strong and stiff, often with a low density. FRPs have got some really desirable properties all in one place. These include high strength, which is basically the property of fibers, corrosion resistance. This is the property of polymers like vinyl ester, for example. Dimensional stability. This stands for the amount of change in dimensions with the change in temperature. FRPs are dimensionally stable because they can be designed in a way so that coefficient of thermal conductivity becomes zero. Design flexibility. This means that they can be easily manufactured in any shape and form required. Coming to the applications part. These are mostly prevalent in the aerospace industry and are becoming popular in other things like sports equipment as well. Recently, IIT Bombay has also started making their car using carbon FRPs, I think from this year only. Machining of composite materials is very different and often difficult from machining of metals. This is mainly due to the non-homogeneity and anisotropic properties of these solids. Drilling is the most common operation that is done on FRPs in the industry, and it is thus the most studied. In this presentation, we'll specifically analyze the challenges faced in the drilling process of FRPs. The difficulties that are faced during drilling are: first, rapid tool wear. This is due to the abrasive nature and high strength of the reinforcement fibers. Delamination. Delamination refers to the fracture of layers of the composite while drilling. This is a major problem while drilling in composite materials. It is more severe at exit than at entry. My partner will talk more about it later. Structural deformations in the polymer and pulling out of fibers from the drill hole also occur frequently. These problems are solved by using right cutting parameters. Fibers in a polymer are woven in a certain fashion during manufacturing. It is thus essential to have knowledge about their orientation for the drilling to be right. The drilling parameters that we can actually control and modify have been divided into three parts here. First are the cutting parameters. These include the spindle speed or the cutting velocity and the feed rate of the drill. Second parameter is tool geometry. In practical life, we cannot really do anything about drill diameter if we have certain specifications from a customer about the size of the hole. But analyzing this aspect would help us understand the properties of FRPs better. Point angle is the angle between two main cutting edges on the top of the drill head. We'll also see the effects of using different types of drill on the FRPs. The input parameters we choose ultimately affect the output parameters that are written here. These in turn define the success of our drilling process. The main output parameters that we are concerned about are tool wear, delamination, and surface roughness. Thrust force and torque are just used to see their effect on the other three parameters. So now let's analyze different kinds of parameters one by one in the drilling process. Drilling parameters like cutting speed and feed highly influence the cutting forces and thus delamination in FRPs. The cutting force decreases with higher cutting speed and increases with the escalating feed rate. Lower feed rates are high. Lower Lower feed rates and high cutting speeds are thus reported as the best parameters for drilling on carbon and epoxy composites. Coming to the tool geometry parameters, a large point angle means a larger contact with the surface and thus a higher thrust force and torque. This leads to a bigger delamination factor, which must be ideally low. Same is the case with changing drill diameters. This means that making small holes is easy. Different kinds of drills have different influence on the thrust force and thus on the delamination factor. The graph here shows the variation of thrust force with the feed for different kinds of drills. Based on the graph, we can conclude that specialized drill tools can help in reducing the drilling thrust when even all the other machining parameters are kept constant.
Experiments were done by researchers using an HSS drill bit and a sheet molding compound of elastic modulus 10 gigapascal to check how changing drill point angle, feed, and cutting speed affected the tool wear. Relationship between tool flank wear and chip volume after drilling 10 and 90 holes by using drill tools with different drill point angle was plotted. Here you can see the flank views taken after drilling 10 and 90 holes for 3 different drill point angles and same feed and cutting speed. The bright part indicates tool wear. 3 different levels were taken for each vector and the values for drill point angle were 80 degree, 100 degree and 120 degree. For feed, the values were 0.1, 0.3 and 0.6 mm per revolution. For cutting speed, the values were 15, 25 and 35 meter per minute. To find out the optimum cutting parameters, Taguchi method was used, and S by N ratio was used as a measure to find the tool wear, and thus an L-line orthogonal array was created and signal to noise ratio was measured using the formula given in the slide. A ANOVA table was constructed and based on the F values, feed was found to be the most significant factor and cutting speed affected the tool wear the least. Same conclusion was made using the Taguchi method and the factor levels with maximum S by N ratio were taken. So minimum tool wear was in the case of drill bit angle of 80 degree, the feed of 0.6 mm per revolution and the cutting speed of 15 meter per minute.
So first of all, we discuss what is a delamination. Delamination is a kind of failure where the material fractures into layers, and a variety of materials including laminar composites and concrete can fail by delamination. This so there are two types. There are two mechanisms of delamination. First is peel up at the entrance, and second is push out at the exit, as can be seen in the image on the right. First of all, for the peel up at the entrance, the driving force is the cutting force in the peripheral direction, and here the fluid pulls up the upper laminars before machining is complete. And this one depends on tool geometry and friction between the workpiece. For the push out at the exit, this occurs when thrust force exceeds the interlaminar bond strength, and it depends on drill geometry and cutting conditions. It can be more damaging than the peel up at the entrance. Why does delamination occur? The delamination basically occurs because of an increase in thrust force, and this increase is attributed to an increase in the feed rate, as can be seen on the as can be seen from the graph below. The thrust force and the torque shall increase with feed rate, because as the feed increases, the uncut chip thickness increases, and thus area of cross section of this uncut chip increases, which leads to an increase in resistance to drill motion, which further increases the thrust force and the torque. Thrust force sharply increase at the starting of drilling due to negative break angle at the chisel edge. The second graph towards the right can be explained as follows. The general form of the thrust profile, it is a general form of the thrust profile, and it comprises of six main stages. Initially, there is a sharp increase in the thrust force due to the initial entry of the drill into the material. Further increase in the force is observed when the second cutting edge enters the workpiece. The maximum force occurs if the tool tip touches the bottom of the laminar plate. This is followed by a sharp reduction of the thrust force as the tool breaks out of the backface of the workpiece. When a chisel edge exits the backface of the laminate, the reduction in force becomes more gradual, as can be seen in the graph. And finally, the force drops to zero. Next, this is a formula to calculate the total thrust force given the feed rate and the drill diameter, where K1, K2, and A are constants. Also, there exists a value for critical thrust force below which no damage occurs to the FRP in the form of a delamination. So in the image in front of the screen, we can see that the push-out delamination is more damaging than the peel-up delamination, and it also its intensity increases as the feed rate increases. Now we look at some thermal and surface roughness considerations. It was experimentally determined that surface roughness increases on increasing the feed rate, and this does not vary with the cutting speed. This is as expected and as studied in the classes as well. The material has low thermal conductivity, and as temperature rises on drilling, polymer matrix breaks down. And further, it also leads this high temperature also leads to high tool wear. So TF. Now we also have a formula to calculate the temperature at the flank surface given the velocity, given V and F, which are the cutting speed in meter per minute and feed in mm per revolution respectively. Next point is that the reduction in residual mechanical properties of drill hole occurs due to softening and resolidification of the matrix material. There are some models to calculate critical thrust force. One of them is for distributed load model, and the next formula is for point load model. So now we'll discuss some factors affecting delamination onset. First of all, them is helix angle. Larger the value of helix angle, smaller the thrust force. This is because it is because of the increase in shear area. Second, point angle. Torque decreases with increasing point angle, while force increases with increasing point angle. Next is feed. As we've already seen, thrust force and torque value increase with an increase in feed. And finally, fiber volume fractions, VF. The thrust force increase with increase in VF ratio, and this behavior is attributed to the increasing mechanical properties and successively the cutting resistance of FRP composite with an increase in the fraction of fibers volume in the material. Delamination free drilling techniques, this is one of the most important slides, and here, our main goal is to keep the thrust force below the thrust force critical value and keep the feed as high as possible to reduce the machining time. And now we know that the contribution of the chisel edge force is 40 to 60% of the total thrust force, which is made of the chisel edge force and the force due to the edges at the lip. So we need to devise techniques which shift the total thrust force towards